All right, April 19th, 2020. Doesn't matter what day it is. So I, in one of those old videos, I talked about how when we get back, like I don't want to talk about the coronavirus. I don't want to indulge in that at all. I don't want to hear corona beer virus jokes and, just hacky shit. Yeah, I don't want to be one of those people. It's like now when you were before when you got on stage and you uttered the words Donald Trump. It just everyone felt exasperated, and like people that liked him and people that didn't like, everyone was just like, I don't want to hear about that shit anymore. And I don't know what's gonna happen when we inevitably get back on stage. Like, I don't know how this is gonna work exactly. I don't know how people are gonna feel, but what I do know, if I know anything, if I've learned anything in all my years in this here comedy thing, is that one, we're gonna get a lot of new comedians. It's gonna be like after New Year's, like there's this influx of comedians and people at the gym. And they usually come out with the hackiest shit, and they just clog up the line, and they're irritating. I'm in not a good mood today, I think. But yeah. So those type of people, like, they're gonna come in and they're gonna be talking about the coronavirus. Comics that are seasoned are gonna talk about it. Like, everyone's gonna be talking about this shit. And I'm at this crossroads of what to do for myself. Like, I still plan on, I'm still considering throwing my baby out into the dumpster. And I'm trying to figure out what angle to take all of this, because it's one of those things where, I don't know, stand-up comedy is such a in-the-moment art form, and you have to acknowledge things that go on around you. And they say that a new comic has really sensitive ears, like when you get on stage and someone orders a drink or whatever, like is politely making noise, you freak out. And I remember doing that. Like, any little distraction would completely distract me, would throw me off my game. And then over time you learn, like, okay, this needs to be brought up, and we need to discuss this. That can be ignored, and you find little reasons and techniques for that. But when it comes to the world, like globally, that's also something that people have to be aware of. Like the Donald Trump thing on comedy, I think, became such a thing because, like, you couldn't not talk about this guy. He was the thing going on. And now the coronavirus and the quarantine, I think, is going to change life so dramatically that it's going to be one of those things where it's impossible to not acknowledge in one way or another. I was talking to a friend about this last night. Like, if I get on stage with my old material, if I get on stage talking about cooties, which I think I might keep that joke for obvious reasons, but if I talk about, like, fucking truth or dare or playing tag or whatever, if I talk about shit like that on stage now, it's gonna feel like I'm some old man who's wishing for the good old days, back in the 90s, and not in like a cute way. I think we've officially, 80s and 90s are done. I don't think we're gonna have any more movies about the 80s or 90s. I think we hit a transition point. It's like 9/11. Comedy was one way, and then 9/11 happened, and comedy became another thing. And you gotta adapt to survive. And so I'm gonna have to adapt to this and this climate and what I say about it, how I approach it. But it needs to stand out. I think it needs to stand out from other comedians that go on stage. It needs, like all the comedians that don't go on stage. All those mirror comedians. But it needs to stand out from other comedians on stage generally. I think it needs to come from me personally, like a very, very specific to me. One of the things I was proud of with my material so far was that it didn't seem like many people were doing what I was trying to do. I've not been all over the country, haven't been to other important spots in comedy. I haven't been to many. So who knows, maybe I could be talking out of my ass here. But as far as I know right now, there weren't many comics that were kind of like me, at least not in the areas I was in. So I think that gave me a leg up. Even if you didn't like me, you will remember me, and I think that's important. So I want to make sure that that distinction is clear when I get back on stage again, that whatever I'm saying, whatever I'm doing, you're not going to get the same bullshit that you're going to get from other comics. You're going to get my bullshit. You're not going to get their dumb opinions. You're going to get my dumb opinion. And at least you know that it's mine and that it's unique to me. And that hopefully it's an opinion or a perspective that you maybe have felt, but you've never been able to articulate before, or you didn't even really notice that it was happening. I think that would be ideal. I did like the idea that I was rolling with for pre-coronavirus, BC, before coronavirus. That Will and I are gonna make that a thing. In case you didn't listen to the Night Guy and Baldy episode, we've decided that when someone asks how long you've been doing comedy, you can say 4 years BC before coronavirus, 3 months AC after coronavirus. I think that gives a nice clear understanding of where people kind of are at. But as I was saying, getting back on stage, doing the words, sentences, phrases, indignation. So getting back on stage and trying to stand out. So the stuff I was doing before the coronavirus, there was a narrative arc that kind of brought everything together. It was, what was I doing when I was a kid and how did I progress? And I think the angle I can take now is how did this quarantine and this virus affect me personally? How did I handle it, and how did it make me change? I think that if I were to listen back to the podcasts, for the ACMM, this podcast, like there's any other podcast I'm talking about, if I were to listen back to this podcast, like right before the coronavirus and right before the quarantine to when the coronavirus hit up until now, there's probably a pretty big change. I don't like to listen until I've hit the 100th episode so that enough time has gone by so where there's a clear sweeping change, but I'm sure there's a lot of changes I've made within however long it's been. I think it's been like a month and some change. I'm not sure anymore. But I'm trying to come at it from that angle, from like something that's personal this way. It still feels unique to me, and something that doesn't necessarily have to have a full narrative arc, but has a theme, has a vibe to it. I was rewatching Dave Chappelle's The Age of Spin, and I wasn't analyzing it in any way. I wasn't like breaking it down. I didn't get my notepad out and my beakers and get a bunch of chemicals and mix it together to try to make a Dave Chappelle clone that I could copy off of. What are you doing, Aaliyah? What the fuck? Hold up. She saw a squirrel, and she's doing that thing that dog from Up would do, and it's annoying. Anyway. So I was watching The Age of Spin, and he clearly had like a vibe for that special, but hold up a second, there's a dude like zombie walking behind me. I don't know if the virus is mutated and we're getting rage zombies, but this dude is like sketching me the fuck out. All right, he's walking away now. People don't understand how goddamn creepy the suburbs are. Like at least when you're in a cramped, packed apartment complex, people can hear you scream. This shit is like Alien out here, but with more white pickup trucks and RVs and shit. Anyway, so yeah, having a theme, having a vibe, and I think that theme or that vibe might hold everything together. One of the things I've realized about my brain is that it just goes all over the place, and I need to keep it focused on one thing, otherwise nothing gets done, one thing at a time. and I think that if I didn't use the theme thing, and I might play with it later in the future, who knows? I'm letting myself change and develop, but if right now at this point, if I don't let myself focus on a thing, if I let myself just go all over the place with ideas and thoughts, it'll be a clusterfuck. It'll look like a Jackson Pollock bit. So yeah, that's where I'm going. And right now, I haven't been writing. I'm saying this like you're accusing me. Oh, have you been writing, Aaron? No, I wouldn't dare do that. I haven't been writing jokes. Haven't been writing material. Haven't been working on it at all, really. But it's interesting now that I'm in first person mode more, and I'm not thinking about comedy. Ideas do come to my head. I was thinking about how I was doing Postmates, especially early on in all of this thing. I was doing Postmates, and I was watching my daily 10-minute dose of news. And on the news, they were saying things like, we wanted to thank all the people that are risking their lives in the front lines. We want to thank the nurses and the doctors and the delivery drivers. You are on the front lines and you are risking your lives. Thank you. And I was like, I did not sign up to be a delivery marine. That was not my intentions. We were not doing no hoorahs out here. I just needed to make some extra money to pay my credit card bills. Like I kind of wanted to get into that, but I'm concerned. Like that's the thing. An idea like that, it doesn't feel hacky. It can't be hacky yet because nobody's on stage doing it. But I feel like something like that is gonna immediately become hacky, or not even just hacky, but just a lot of comics probably did Postmates and probably had the exact same idea. I don't think there's anything unique about that. So I had that idea. Then I was thinking about how I just don't understand reality. God damn it. All right, let's hope that doesn't happen anymore. I need to turn my phone just off not off, but airplane mode or whatever when I do this. Fuck was I say? The future and words, sentences, and opinions. I'm trying not to be hacky. Yeah. So I don't want to get on stage and do what everyone else is doing. Yeah. God damn it. Okay, now it 100% should not happen again. It is more frustrating to me than it is you, probably. So, yeah, try not to be hacky, not knowing what reality is. Yeah. It's another thing that I feel like most people are gonna go with reality and fake news. That feels really obvious. And then I was thinking about how one of the things I realized as I was sitting in my garage cave with my wild animal wolf, I was thinking about how I think I totally get now how dudes go into prison. They go in like these hard thugs, and they go in murdering people and doing crimes and selling drugs, and then they come out Muslim. They come out like super calm and super zen and into Allah and shit. I get that now. I get how when you can be isolated from people that can happen. And that's an idea I wanted to play with. And that feels less hacky. That feels less obvious. Or maybe it feels less obvious because I haven't been on stage and I haven't been in an open mic hearing what everyone's take is on this. But that's one of my takes. So yeah, just trying to, I don't know, just trying to still not write, let go, figure out myself more, keep working on this whole first person mode thing. And then letting whatever new version of my thought process is dictate where the writing is going to go. And, I mean, this is another reason why I think I'm just going to frustrate myself if I try to write at the moment is because I can't gauge what's going to work and what isn't. I can't gauge what's going to be hacky and what isn't. I can't gauge how anything's going to come off And so I want to hold off on writing still. I'm thinking right now my strategy is wait till there's a real clear announcement that, like, all right, we're going to go back to do a show in a week or 2 weeks or a month, or however, whenever I know for sure, like, all right, shit's about to start rolling again, then I think I'm going to start writing. Because everything's too up in the air. Every day I wake up and I think I'm on a life sentence. Like, I'm not going to get out of this ever. So that's where I'm at. Yep.